So for years and all that, we have millennia. So 5 millennia ago, not 5 millennium or millenniums, 5 millennia ago, writing was first introduced. By who? By the Sumerians. What form of writing? We talked about it, cuneiform. Which was a kind of a writing that, we have writing systems. And it's good to give you a few words about the writing systems. It's good. So what kinds of writing systems do we have? So the old ones were, the first one was by the Sumerians, 3,000 year BC. It means before Christ. Now Christ, what year are we? 2014. So 2,000 plus 3,000 minus together 5,000. So almost 5,000 years ago, which is 50 centuries or 5 millennia. So it's 5 millennia ago. Writing was what, invented? Yeah. And introduced. The first system of writing, which was called cuneiform, which were looked like nails. You know nails? Something like this, on top of each other. It kind of looked closer to the contemporary Japanese and Chinese characters.
No.
No?
No.
Why not?
Do you has an S in the end of the 5 millennia? S? Do you have it? Have it?
No, there's no S. It's millennia, because this is millennium 1. Millennium
5 millennia.
5 millennia. It's a foreign plural. So cuneiform. Then we have hieroglyphics. You know hieroglyphics? And I hope the hieroglyphics, yeah. Ancient Egyptians used it, hieroglyphics. In the caves, you have seen hieroglyphics in the ancient Egyptians. I'd like to know exactly the time. So there were shapes, like in the caves, the ancient Egyptians used it. And then, of course, different writing systems, Chinese characters. And then we had different kinds of characters. Now, we have Arabic, the Arabic system, Arabic alphabet. The numeric system, what is numeric?
Do you say Arabic or Arabic?
It's Arabic.
Arabic.
Arabic. And the numeric system, numeric. So, Arabic numerals are like, for example, they write like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, it goes on. So up to 10, 9, that's important. These are Arabic numerals. So speaking of Latin numerals, it goes like this, right?
Yeah.
Like this. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Latin, Arabic, and of course 2, 3, 4. Yeah, these are numerals. So if we say alphanumeric, it needs a combination of numerals and alphabets. Like an alphanumeric password is the safest kind of password, right? It has alphabets and numbers, like alphanumeric system. Alphanumeric. Alphabet, numerals. So we have the numeric system, the system, yeah. So,
Rick?
well, I was speaking about prehistory, and that's why we started talking about it. Prehistory is the time before, actually, before writing, before the invention of writing by the Sumerians, 3,000 years before Christ. Because before then, we don't know what happened. Why? Because history was written. There were no cameras, right? The first thing that helped mankind record what they saw was painting and writing. But when we say history because historians started writing things. That would be a historian. You know, historians. So we have historic records. Historic records. So if you want to know like who was the king, who was the ruler, who was this, who was that, maybe the latest text that we have date back. Date back. So the most ancient, the oldest texts that we have date back to around 3,000 years before Christ. That's about the time, well this may be a mistake though, but I got it from there. That's about the time writing was first introduced by the Sumerians in cuneiform. Yeah. So when we talk about contemporary art, we have traditional art, we have ancient art, we have prehistoric art. Because prehistoric art is the paintings on the walls of the caves and the different places before the invention of writing. That's prehistoric art. We have lots of prehistoric art, a lot of paintings. People made things with stones from the Stone Age, which is thousands of years ago. The Bronze Age, people made bronze things. And of course, so many different forms of art, which is exactly something we're going to cover. Chris, his favorite. And what is the next word?
Distribute.
Distribute. Amazing. Distribute and distribution. What is to distribute? To distribute what? Goods. Products. What's the noun?
Distribution.
Distribution. What's another noun? Distributor. We also have to redistribute. To redistribute wealth, for example. What is distribute? When you distribute goods, what do? A newspaper company makes newspapers. Some people like Ray, they go from school, they have summer jobs, and they go distribute newspapers at the doors. There's a paper guy come in, newspaper guy.
Distribute.
You distribute.
But
The milk company, I'll tell you this one.
Yeah, I know.
The milk company distributes its milk products, right? The dairy products, it goes to different shops and gives them boxes and all of the distribution.
Delivery.
Delivery and distribution, yeah, distribution and delivery, they're very connected, right? So you need to distribute things. The CDs will be copied and distributed. 1 million CDs were distributed in the market. But this is just distribution. But we have distribution of wealth in the society. What is the distribution of wealth? the way wealth has been distributed in a society. Now, oftentimes, especially today, when we have most societies in the world are suffering from an economic woe, an economic malady or disease called inequality. Yes, there's inequality. Means no equality. There's inequality. Which basically means somebody has billions to burn and somebody has problems finding a penny. Some people are struggling to make ends meet, while others are sleeping in a lap of luxury and doing certain things. So this is, and I would say, for example, an unequal, you may argue unfair distribution of wealth. So those people who argue that wealth has been unequally distributed, they would argue for systems to redistribute wealth. And wealth redistribution. How do we redistribute wealth? One system is taxation. Taxation. To tax the rich. So taxation is one of the ways that a society is supposed to administer economic justice. Because the tax systems are usually progressive. That means if you make more money, you'll have to pay more tax. But the rich don't pay taxes. Most of them, they evade tax. We have tax evasion. How do they evade tax? Major companies, they take their operations into countries such as China and other countries where they don't have to pay a lot of tax. That's why iPhone is designed in the US but made in China. So part of the reason is cheap labor, but the bigger part of that is the tax. Cheap labor is only the very small portion of it. Tax is the bigger issue. Because labor is labor, but tax is according to the money you make, based on the money you make. They make a lot of money, they should pay a lot of tax. So they can argue that we're not here in the US, our operations are offshore in Bermuda. Or our operations are in China. Switzerland. The banking system usually. So that's where, so how do you distribute, how do you redistribute wealth? Means take it through taxation, so on and so forth. Now, whether or not these policies are effective, of course not, because so far the rich have been only getting richer and the poor have been only getting poorer. So the gap between rich and poor, the rich and poor gap, is huge. Huge. I always say that. In 2014, there was a report out saying that 80 people in the world, 80 persons, have as much money as more than 50% of the global population. Which means around 3.7 billion people. Let's say 3.5, like let's say 3.3 or 4 billion people. So it means 80 people are richer than 3.3 billion people put together. This is how equal today's society is.
Can we change it?
We? Yes! We're gonna change this!
Because I heard about even education in US systems are unequal.
Of
Not
course.
everything, everyone cannot not that everyone can access this. So
That's why they say equal opportunity.
that
Equal opportunity for all. So, yeah, this is a major issue, and one day we should talk about equality. Now, we talked about it in the past, but we should talk about it because it's one of those major economic issues that we can talk about. It's very much closely related to everyone who's living. So, distributing, you can distribute newspapers. Now, or what's the example here for distribute? Many publishers distribute their newspapers directly to homes in their area. Of course, distribute newspapers. The distribution of seeds for plants is very quick with this new machine. Fine. Next is encourage. 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 What is the opposite of encourage?
Discourage.
Okay, what is the noun inside it? Courage. Right? Courage. Encourage. Discourage. And what is the adjective made from courage?
Courageous.
Thank you. So, to encourage what? To encourage? To encourage someone to do something. To discourage. Discourage someone, what? To do something? From, thank you, Kay. Doing something. So, to encourage someone to do something, to discourage someone from doing something. So I tried to discourage Lisa from going to Whistler. But I couldn't. I tried to dissuade her from. You know, to persuade someone to do something, to dissuade someone from doing something. Sometimes you talk someone into doing something, to talk someone into or out of doing something. Remember, to convince someone to do something. Convince someone to do something. And say, I'm not convinced. So, distracted? No. So, to encourage, well, we have the word courage here, right? Now, I don't have the courage to do something. It takes courage to do something. It takes courage. This is a structure that I want you to learn. It takes courage. Sometimes it takes more than courage. It takes more than money to go to a good school. you also need to be intelligent. Is that correct?
I don't have the brevity.
Bravery.
Bravery.
I'll talk about that a bit. So if I encourage you to study, if I encourage you to continue, if I encourage you to stay on course, hey, stay on course, do this. This is a This is different from like cheering someone. Somebody's out there cheering. Yep. You know when you cheer people to do something? To cheer. You know, cheer. Come on. Yeah? To root for. To root for. Who are you rooting for? I'm rooting for the Blue Jays. Who are you rooting for? Because I'm rooting for the Blue Jays because Hisachi is there, huh? Kawasaki. Yeah? I'm rooting for the Blue Jays! Run, Kawasaki, run! Or the Yankees? Ichiro is in Yankees. Yeah, guys. So which team are you rooting for? Which team are you rooting for? Which team are you rooting for? Not which team are you cheering. Which team are you rooting for? He was egged on by his friends. Egged on by his friends. It means he was, you know, like his friends, hey, do it. Hey, go just, you know, like, throw her off the balcony. Hey, come on, do it. Hey, you chicken, come on, do it. So this is they're egging you on. When you egg somebody on, egg someone on to do something. We also have to psych someone up. Psych someone up. I'm like, hey, you can do it. Come on, I'm sure you can do it. Huh? Have you heard this? Go, Kay, go. Go, Chris, go. Huh? So you can do it. Like people are like cheering you. Go, Chris, go. Go, Chris. Go. Now when you psych somebody up, if people are demoralized, what is demoralized? The team is demoralized. Demoralized. I don't know where to. So to egg somebody on, to psych someone up, Chris, go, Chris. Yeah, persuade someone to do something. Dissuade someone from doing something. I dissuaded him from going on that trip. I tried to dissuade her. Persuade means go, go, go. Dissuade is don't go, right? I tried to dissuade her from going there. But morale, after the loss against, what was the first loss? The Spanish lost the first game against who?
Netherlands.
The Netherlands. Spain lost its morale. The Spanish team, the Spaniards, the Spanish lost their morale. Morale means high spirits, right? High spirits. They weren't demoralized. They were demoralized. So somebody needed to psych them up, encourage them. Guys, you can do it. To psych them up.
It means that they T
Again.
Where?
again.
Again.
Good.
Again.
Thank you. Thank you. So, after the loss against Netherlands, the Spanish lost their morale. They were demoralized. They needed someone to encourage them, to give them courage, to actually psych them up. But to egg somebody on is a little bit different, because when you egg someone on, you egg someone on to do a bad thing. Something that's not necessarily good. So he was egged on by his friends. Whose idea was it? Egg someone on. To encourage or urge someone to continue doing something, usually something unwise. Yeah, John wouldn't have done the dangerous experiment if his brother hadn't egged him on. When you egg your friend on, hey, you've got to do it. Come on, you can. Go ahead. So, about courage itself. So you encourage someone to discourage someone from. I tried to discourage her from, but I didn't succeed. I failed. Encourage someone to do something, discourage someone from doing something. Now, the word courage itself and courageous. Of course, courageous means what's a synonym for that? Oh, it's lunchtime, guys. Just a few words. So, guys, please learn this expression. It takes, for example, courage to do something. It takes a lot of money to establish a good business, to start a good business. It takes courage to go to the teacher and say something like that. It takes more than money to start a business. So, now when I say courage, I'm talking about, but this is a noun, the adjective would be courageous, right? Courageous would mean brave, and this is bravery. It takes guts. Do you have the guts? Do you have the guts to do that? Now, this is not formal. This is informal. If you have courage, you are, okay, this word is courageous.
Courageous.
We're done.
Meeting at 12:15? No, you got 10 minutes.
Okay.
Meeting at 12:15?
Sure. Cool. Perfect. So courageous. Courageous. If you have courage, you are courageous. 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 Courage. Courageous. Brave. Bravery. What's the opposite of courageous? Courageous is an adjective, right? He's courageous, but as a noun we say he's a coward. A coward is afraid of his own shadow. We say he's afraid of his own shadow. If you want to say somebody's a chicken, like a chicken, you know a chicken? Quack, quack, quack. A chicken, cluck, 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 means like it's afraid of everything. Yeah. So anyways, in characters, moods and characters, I have completely talked about it. So if you watch characters, that's a good one, because then we talk about different characters. Some people are afraid, some people are brave, some people are not just afraid, some people are chickens or cowards. And the noun for coward is cowardice. So he's a coward. What is blocking you from succeeding? What stops you from succeeding is your cowardice. Because you're a coward, this cowardice does not allow you to succeed. Got it? Thank you.